Okay. Right. Howdy, folks, and welcome to our brand new podcast where we talk movies and other nerdy topics for your pleasure. Tonight, we treat you with our boy Lamberto Bava, and this is Night of the Flicks. Let me introduce you to our hosts tonight. Rocking the red corner, we have Robert Patterson's better-looking twin and the creator of the Sandra Bullock fan club. It's our own. It's Will.
Hello.
And over in the hello. And in the blue corner, we have a man so damn smooth. He was offered the role of James Bond, but he turned it down as he's waiting for his dream role to play Tony in the Demons remake. It's our top guy, Oli. And last but certainly least, the king of monsters. It's me, Shin Rabbit, and it's time for our feature presentation. How are you guys?
Good.
Good. Yeah, very good. Very excited to be here. Talk about two awesome movies and one
Two awesome movies. I don't know which is the bad one, but I think I know, and I think I disagree. But yeah, it's exciting. Brand new podcast.
Something a bit different.
Yeah, it is. I think we'll start off by, giving a little, a bit of background to what the podcast will be. Obviously, I think we're going to mostly talk about movies, and the sort of theme of it at the moment, it might always change, but we've picked three movies that are like a theme, whether it's a director or maybe like a genre or something like that. And we just watch the three films over a week period, and then we review it. And what did you guys think of the films?
Interesting picks. It probably wouldn't be something I'd watch just on my own kind of thing if we didn't pick.
Yeah, well, we originally were going to do Giallos, weren't we?
Yeah.
I think that was the first pick. But I think Ollie was like pretty set on watching Demons. So
Demons has been on my list for years to finally get down and watch. I don't know, it's just always evaded me. So finally sitting down and watching it. Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, actually, I was going to ask what your guys' history is with the movies today, or Lamberto Bava, or even Italian horror in general. I was going to ask you guys, have you seen these films before, or is it first time watches?
It was a first time watch for all of them for me. No surprise.
Was this first time watch all three of these, Ollie?
So I did see BlastFighter many years ago. I did film studies at university, and we did cover Italian horror and Italian movies.
Oh, nice.
So we got to watch a lot of cool 80s, late 70s Italian movies. So it's just Demons 2, but just always evaded me. Just never got around to watching it.
Oh, wow. Nice. It's a good excuse to watch them. I mean, with myself, I've watched Demons, I think, was maybe I think might have been the first Italian horror I ever watched. I watched it when I was probably too young. So it's kind of, I've got that little bit of nostalgia with Demons.
Yeah.
I've seen Demons 2 a few times, but nowhere near as much as the first one. BlastFighter is a first time watch.
Yeah, I used to, when I was a kid, my mum and dad used to take me home, and I used to just pick up old horror and Italian horror VHS and just sit and watch them. So, yeah, I've seen a lot of good movies. I've seen a hell of a lot of bad movies, but they're always a joy to watch because of the genre.
I feel like there's always something a little bit entertaining in them, even if they're bad.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, definitely. A lot of them are so bad they're good.
Yeah, some of the I always find sometimes the bad parts of a movie can be the reason why I rewatch it. If a film's got terrible dialogue, sometimes it's quite endearing, and I go back to it. And yeah, what about Will? With you, have you watched much Italian films? I know you've seen a couple.
it's a bit of an untouched area for me, to be honest. Not that long ago, I watched what's it called? Stage Fright.
Yes, yes.
I didn't mind that. Kind of went
Yeah.
into it not knowing much about it.
I know you watched Flesh Eaters, didn't you, recently?
Yeah.
Zombie Flesh Eaters.
Yeah, enjoyed that. But other than them and a couple of others, maybe I've not. It's quite untouched ground for me at the minute.
Yeah. Does any of you guys, obviously Will's just mentioned he's watched Stage Fright. Does any of you guys know the connection between demons and Stage Fright?
No.
Not to Stage Fright, no.
No, so you know the guy in Demons 1 with the mask on?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's Michelle Suave, who actually directed Stage Fright.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's really interesting.
that's the director. I mostly know him because he directed one of my favourite Italian films, which is Cemetery Man.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, love that one. And Michelle Suave, obviously, he directed that, but he also did Stage Fright, so a little bit of a segue.
Nice.
So what I thought we'd do, because obviously it's our first podcast, first time recording together. I thought I'd get a few sort of rapid fire questions for you guys, just so the guys at home can get a small feel of what sort of movies you like, and get a little bit of background to you guys. So I've got a little list. Don't think too hard about it. Most of it is like one or the other, or it's when I say like a favorite film, just think of the first one that comes to your head. It's just quick fire. So are you guys up for that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Lovely. Okay, so do you want me to go with you first, Will? Because because I know you guys a little bit, I was able to get in things that I know that you kind of are into a little bit, and
Like cater them to us a little.
Yeah, a little bit. So if I go with you first, Will.
Yeah.
10 small questions. Don't think too hard. Just fire away. You ready?
Okay.
Okay. So one movie you love:
Whiplash.
horror or action?
Horror.
American movies or other?
Ooh. Oh, America's so broad. Other.
Other. Okay. What's the one that comes to your mind when you think of other?
I just instantly went to like Korean, Japanese films.
Yeah.
Have a lot more like style and in like weirdness to them.
Yeah. I agree with you there. Okay. One great movie soundtrack.
Ooh, Dazed and Confused.
Nice. Okay. DC or Marvel?
DC.
Will hates Marvel. You'll learn that. Okay, Blumhouse or A24?
A24.
Favorite horror villain?
Horror villain. Ooh. From just one film or like franchise?
Whatever you want. Just first one that comes in.
I've got two that came to mind instantly. So I had Leatherface and Candyman.
Oh, nice. You know what? I knew you were going to say. I had a
nice
feeling. I had a feeling Leatherface was coming, but Candyman. That's an interesting pick. I like that. As in Candyman, as in like Tony Todd back in the day, or new. Okay, yeah, good. Practical effects or CGI?
Oh, practical effects.
Nice. TV or movies?
Movies.
Robert Pattinson or Robert De Niro?
Ooh, damn.
Oh, damn.
That's a toughie.
Yeah, Pattinson's had like a huge switch in his career from his early career, and I love some of his new films. But De Niro's got so many classics.
You're a big Twilight fan, ain't you?
Yeah, obviously. Oh, I'm gonna say De Niro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting because I actually think I like Robert Pattinson movies more. but Robert De Niro is pretty brilliant
Yeah.
in like all his films.
Patterson's
isn't he?
been like killing it the last few years.
Yeah.
Yeah, he nailed it with his different roles he's been doing. He's certainly shed his Twilight persona that he was going for.
See, for me, I was a kind of when I was younger and Twilight was out, I was like, yeah, Patterson, oh, he's the Twilight guy.
Yeah.
But then, like, as I got a little bit older, and then I seen him in things like the Cronenberg films, and then obviously Lighthouse and stuff like that. I was like, oh wow, this guy's
He's done like Lighthouse, Good Time,
yeah,
Batman
Time's a great
recently.
movie.
But,
yeah.
You know,
Okay.
he did a full role in The King, and even though The King's quite forgettable on Netflix, he's
Yeah.
full role in it. He plays such a really good villain. He plays like a really good coward in it.
What's that one? Sorry, what film was that?
It's called The King.
It's
So-
been
I
on
don't
my
think
list
I've
for
seen that.
ages. I've not seen
Yeah,
it yet.
it's on Netflix. It's a bit of a forgettable movie. Robert Pattinson's only in it for 5-10 minutes, but he plays such a good cowardly villain. It's well worth watching just for his small role.
Yeah, I'll have to keep an eye out for that one. I do think that Robert Pattinson, like, I feel like recently, I think like even though his acting's brilliant, I feel like he knows a good like script. I think when like he knows this film's going to be good, so I'm going to be in it. You know what I mean? Like something like The Lighthouse and things like that. I
definitely
still
picking
haven't
his
watched the
projects,
Batman
I think.
film with him though. He plays Batman, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
I'm not a superhero fan, so when you come to ask me questions, Marvel
I don't-
DC,
I don't think none of us are.
I'm over the superhero movies, but no, Batman is a solid movie.
Yeah.
Really good.
Oh, well, thank you for that, Will. I will move over to Ollie. I've got some questions
Yeah.
for you.
I'm
Okay.
really-
Okay, so start with the same one. One movie you love.
Jaws.
Nice. Okay. Deep Blue Sea or Jaws 3.
Deep Blue Sea.
Nice. Arnold or Sylvester Stallone.
Ooh.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. All the way.
Nice. Action or horror.
Horror.
Favorite horror villain.
Who's the shark? Obviously, from Jaws.
Nice. Alien or Predator.
Alien.
Nice. Is Starship Troopers a good or bad movie?
Oh, it's so good, it's bad. Paul Verhoeven, he kind of nails it on, the whole politics side. No, Starship Troopers, it's a classic. I grew up watching it. It's a good.
Yeah.
Very
You know
good.
what? I've never spoke to you about Starship Troopers, but I knew that you had opinions on that film.
Oh,
Okay, TV or movies?
old movies.
Practical effects or CGI?
Oh, no brainer, practical.
Nice. And 80s or 90s movies?
Ooh. That's hard.
Comes to my head, 80s.
80s? Nice. I have to agree with you on that one.
Oh, there's some good movies in the 90s.
Yeah.
Some of my favourite movies in the 90s, but 80s is an iconic decade.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I listen to quite a lot of like horror podcasts or things and watch a lot of horror stuff on YouTube. And a lot of people always sort of diss the 90s. I do think like the Scream era. Like I think like it kind of goes before the 2000s. But I do think there is like I think if you look in like the Japanese horror and the I think there are some good stuff.
I think with
But,
the
yeah.
80s as well, everyone instantly goes to like classic 80s films, but there's a lot of crap in the 80s as well.
oh yeah.
I personally like the 80s a lot more than the 90s, but I still also like the 90s. I think there's crap and good in both. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So yeah. Right. Anyway, that was the quickfire questions. Enjoyed
I
that.
was hoping you were going to ask me about my favourite movie soundtrack. I was going to say.
Oh, sorry,
Greasy
sorry.
Strangler. Oh,
Yeah.
Greasy Strangler soundtrack.
What was that one?
The Greasy Strangler.
Oh, the Greasy Strangler.
It's so effing weird. It's you've got to check it out. It's insane.
Oh, good. Well, to be fair, I don't think, like you say, I don't think I've really spoke too much about movie soundtracks. So I didn't want to ask you a question that you'd be like, I didn't know if you were interested in. So, but yeah, Greasy Strangler. That is cool. That's a good one. That's a good one. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that.
If anyone knows the Greasy Strangler, or like has seen it, why?
The Greasy Strangler.
It's wonderfully weird.
It's definitely an odd one.
Mm.
Definitely an odd one. I think it
Yeah.
was. I'm trying to. I can't remember the name now. My mind's going blank. But I believe wasn't it produced by like Elijah Wood's team?
Yeah,
Production
Elijah
company.
Wood like produced it, and it was
Yeah.
BFI funded as well by the British Filmers who funded it. So you know,
Yeah.
it's homegrown movie really. We funded it as taxpayers.
Yeah, because I know that they.
Look,
I might be wrong. Sorry, carry on.
I was gonna say when I watched it and you see like it says like National Lottery funded, it was like, oh my god. I wonder if a copy gets sent to like their executive team, like this is what's been made of the money.
I might have to listen to the Greasy Strangler soundtrack because I don't think I can really remember much about it. But yeah, no, Greasy Strangler. What a crazy song.
Yeah, trust me, I know disco, so you've got to check it out.
Nice.
Oh,
nice.
I've got it on vinyl, and it's the vinyl picture of it is just Big Ronnie standing there naked on the vinyl.
Nice.
It's
Wow.
amazing. It's such a classic album to listen
One
to.
for all the family.
It's so weird.
All right. Well, I say that's the introduction done. I say we go into our main three films, shall we?
We start from good to bad.
I think we start from. Let's start from the order that. Well, I think we all watched it in.
Yeah.
I think. But before we get into the first film, which will be Demons, does any of you guys ever seen any other Lamberto Bava films?
No.
Other than BlastFighter, that was it.
Other than BlastFighter, yeah.
Yeah, other than that's the only Bava I've ever seen.
Well, I know because obviously Lamberto Bava, his dad Mario Bava.
Mario Bava, yeah.
Obviously, I prefer Mario Bava films, but I have seen a few of the Lamberto Bavas before, including like Demons, and I've seen like Blade in the Dark and things. But yeah, he's also done quite a lot that doesn't look too interesting, which I've not really seen.
He's done a bit of a mix, hasn't he?
Yeah.
It's like dived into his horror, but then there's also a few strange ones in there.
Well, I'm looking at his IMDb, and I feel like his older stuff is like, I think once you get like you got Delirium, which is good, Macabre, which is good, Blade in the Dark, which is also a real good one, which I was going to pick for. I was one of the ones I was going to pick for the Giallo. But then I do think like the last 10, 20 years I've not really seen anything in that. No. So yeah, Demons. Ali, do you want to read the synopsis? Have you got the synopsis available there?
Yeah. So, Demons. So, synopsis, guys. A group of random people are invited to a screening of a mysterious movie, only to find themselves trapped in the theatre with ravenous demons.
Is that all it says?
Yeah.
It's basically, yeah, that's what IMDb says. But yeah, it pretty much is. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Obviously, 1985.
Yeah.
I don't need to say it, but Lamberto Bava. What did you guys think? What was your initial thoughts? Will, why don't you start off?
What, like initial thoughts of the entire film, or like the beginning, like half, or?
Start from the start. What your first impressions? What did you like about it at first, or didn't like?
Because I as we watched the films, I wrote like a few notes, but I didn't write too much because I didn't want to get taken out of like the experience of watching it.
Yeah, yeah.
But my first note is literally funky intro music. And I put here, it sounds like it's from like a Mario or Donkey Kong level. If I'm like editing the video for YouTube on this, I'll put like a little clip in here of what it sounds like. But
yeah, no, that is that's pretty. That's funny. Yeah, I never thought of that, but yeah, I can definitely hear that.
yeah, I like the intro. Instantly gets you like intrigued.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And I will say the chrome masks, because obviously there's the guy with like the half mask in the station that's giving out the tickets, and then there's obviously the demon's mask actually in the theater. I thought those particular shots in the film look really timeless. Like, if you if I'm doing the thumbnail for this video as well, you'll be able to see it. But those like actual screenshots of the films, they could, I put here, it could look like it's from like a modern A24 film.
Yes.
It gives me that kind of vibe. Obviously not the entire film looks that nice, but but I thought the masks were like really, really cool.
Yeah.
You know, there's some pretty classic shots. You know, even if you've never seen Demons, you've probably seen pictures of when the demons, you know, walking through the corridor, and they've got their eyes are all lit up and focused. You know, how do they use reflectors? That's a really iconic shot. Really. That's a good shot.
It's a shot that one. Like, I think one of the best things about Demons. I think, like, I'm going to spoil a little bit of my opinion already, but like I've grew up loving this film, and I've seen this film a lot, and it's really nostalgic to me. But I think the one thing that I think is so good, I think that is the shots, the cinematography, and everything. Like that scene when they walk up the stairs and you got that neon blue light and the fog and the eyes.
Yeah,
it's watching it, and I watched it for the first time in 4K as well, and like it was just like it gave me chills. You know, like it's such a. It kind of, I think if it has like a slow motion sort of, I think it's slow motion, isn't it? If I remember right, and it's yeah, it's kind of slow.
Yeah, it's done in like a slow motion shot with, you know, them all crawling up the stairs, going down the corridor. But you know, you mentioned like the colours and stuff. You know, you can really see, Dario Argento used it. You know, you can see that its influence was in that movie with, you know, the use of colours in some of the lighting in the scenes. You know, you've got your reds, your yellows, your blues.
Yeah.
You know, it reminded me a hell of a lot like Suspiria. Which is a fantastic movie. You know, so you can definitely see the Argento kind of flair on it, even though it is a Marvel movie. Which, and I know we're going to discuss it later, but it's, you kind of see it in Demons 2, but you don't see any of it in BlastFighter.
Yeah.
But you know, Argento didn't really have much to do with BlastFighter, or it had a little, and pretty much nothing to do with BlastFighter. You can see Argento's influence on Demons.
Yeah, no, you definitely
can definitely tell there's a bit more. I don't know whether to say experience or just a bit more like flavor in the film, a bit more style.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with you. I think, I think I know that you said it sounds like a Donkey Kong, but I think the sort of main theme, demons, and the one thing that I do think that Lamberto Bava does really well, because I think he does it well in all of his films that I've seen, is I feel like sometimes it doesn't work, but a lot of the times he has really good. His music cues are really good. Like he knows when to just start the song, and it's like, oh yes, here we go. You know what I mean? Like, and I will say I do think the music is really, really good.
The music itself is fantastic. You know,
it's
80s power metal.
Yeah.
So yeah, the use of music. You know, with British bands like Saxon, and you know the band Accept with their song when George is riding his motorcycle all through the theatre.
Oh, yeah.
It's an awesome scene. Really good song. It really fits the mood of the action that's taking place.
Yeah, yeah. It's quite funny because you said earlier that it feels very like Suspiria, and obviously with the connection of Dario Argento being in the film, but like the music as well. It's actually it's Claudio Simonetti. I might have said his name wrong. Who composes the actual, not obviously the music that we know, but like the actual soundtrack and stuff, like the Donkey Kong song. He was actually part of Goblin, who did the soundtrack to Suspiria as well.
Oh,
So
nice.
yeah,
There's so many soundtracks.
yeah.
I will
Yeah,
say,
I think.
Pretty much different. That's how it's.
there's a lot of like 80s rock, so there's like, I think Billy Idol's on when they're in the car and stuff.
Yeah,
And like you said, that bike scene, which like it like fit perfectly. But there was one scene near the end, where they're both like escaping,
yeah,
and it randomly like cuts in with some like I don't know the song off the top of my head, but it just randomly cuts in while a couple of demons are chasing them away, and it's like a pure 80s rock, and I was like, maybe
Yeah.
maybe not this scene. Like it was a really like creepy atmosphere, and it just came in with these like 80s guitars. I was like, I think it would have been a bit better with just like a bit of ambience and like demon sounds and stuff. But
yeah. I would have liked to hear less like songs that we all know, or rock songs, and a little bit more of the sort of synth sort of stuff, like the main song and things like that, because I feel like that fits the movie a lot more.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, like I was saying, it was just it just felt like the film had to force licensed music into it.
just shove it
Yeah,
in somewhere.
Because obviously they paid for it and felt,
Yeah.
we need to get this song in somehow because we paid the artist or the record company to use it.
Yeah.
yeah,
It did
I
like
agree.
it was White Wedding, wasn't it? When they were all doing like all the punks in the car doing like cocaine
Yeah.
and stuff. That was
There's-
good.
they're sniffing coke from a coke can.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I thought, yeah, I mean, as well, I think the effects really good, most of them.
Oh, especially when he's transforming and the teeth come through.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll write that down as notes. As soon as the teeth fall out and the brand new fangs pop out, it's such a well done effect.
It's really good.
We gotta get out of here. Get out! Everybody get away!
Yeah. No, I agree. I think
which they
that
do
those...
try and replicate in Demons 2, but we will get to that as well.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, I think I think this film has some really like iconic scenes, and I think like the more you watch it, and I think you start to remember the scenes a bit more. Like there's a few scenes that I really like how it starts off. Like I think it introduces the characters really well. You know, as the film's playing, you know, you get Tony. Is it? Yeah, Tony and
Tony the Pimp.
Tony the Pimp. You've got the main girls and the two guys. I hated one of the second guy.
He's the one with the darker hair.
The one who had the jumper around his
Yeah,
around
he
his
was
shoulders.
so creepy.
Yeah, Ken. Ken.
Yeah, Ken.
And he just when he gets infected, he just runs off like screaming. It's just
Just from like the get go though, he was like
quite
had that
hilarious.
look on his face. I was like, oh,
Yeah. Was Were they like trying to get a drink out of the thing, and he's like, "Oh yeah," I'm like, "Oh what?" Yeah, and then you've got the blind guy going to the cinema, which is hilarious.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was. That his wife? Was that his girlfriend? Then it turns out it's his daughter, and she's just
Yeah.
being,
And she just goes
up
and
in the
does
back
her
of the
own thing.
cinema with some random ugly dude. I was like, where the hell is this coming from?
Yeah, yeah, and then you've got the young couple, which was Argento's daughter, I think. You know, the younger couple, the girl was like really scared, and she was always
Yeah,
hugging.
they were like
And
on
then
their like date,
Yeah.
weren't they?
yeah, because that the girl was Argento's daughter.
Yeah.
I think of who else you had, and then you've obviously got a few of the other characters. You had, the person who she was the girl who was working there.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
mention this as well.
Yeah, the hostess.
Yeah.
But I don't know what role she played. She seems like she was in it, like part
Yeah,
of.
she seems a bit
The demons
suspicious
coming
and
out. Then all of a
stuff.
sudden, she's running with everyone, and she becomes a victim, and she's like she pretends she has no idea what's going on. But then she follows one of the Tony's hoes to like the toilet and gives her this like look when she like passes through the curtain.
Mm.
So I thought, oh, she must be part of what's
You
going
think-
on.
yeah, she thinks she's,
in
like,
cahoots with the
the
silver
loop.
mask man. But no, it turns out she isn't. So I was like, oh, okay. So I don't know if that's a flaw of the movie or
Because I noted
part of it.
down how no one questioned her. Because they're like, this is the theatre's doing. Something's gone wrong. Maybe
Yeah.
let's quiz the staff. And then, like,
Yeah.
she's just as scared. But she seemed completely in on it in the first, like, 30 minutes of the film.
Yeah. No, I will say I kind of got that sort of like I was a bit confused to what her when you watch it you think oh she's definitely behind this she's probably a demon or something but then yeah she how did she die? Did you just say?
So when they're all like when
Yeah.
when they're all on the atrium and they're stacked to their chairs, she's there with them, and then she just gets when the demons attack, she just gets like basically just attacked and eaten basically, or
Yeah.
yeah. So she she just goes out with like a bit of a whimper.
Yeah. So they get to the cinema, she puts the mask on, she cuts her face. You get introduced to all the characters, which I think they do that really well in this. Like, like there's a lot of characters and they all die relatively quickly and stuff. So I think having just these very simple sort of snippets with all of them, you kind of get, okay, that's the couple, that's the cute couple, that's and I like how they do that.
They're all fairly, like, interesting and they all stand out in their own ways, which, again, Demons 2 we'll get to.
And then obviously the movie plays, which also the guy who played the Michel Suave with the silver mask also was one of the characters in the film. I can't remember his name. He played one of the film characters as well. And then obviously the film pretty much explains what's going on in the actual film, in Demon, the film, you know what I mean? So it's like, where like normally these films, they have like, maybe like the near, just before the third act, they'll have like this big like explanation sort of, oh, this is what it's all about.
Like bring the audience into the loop kind of thing. Mm.
Yeah, but then I feel like what they do with this one is they go, right, I'll introduce you to the characters. This movie pretty much explains what you're watching. This foreshadows everything. And then it's like, okay, and then as soon as that film finishes and then the infection starts, the film just doesn't stop. Like, it's just relentless all the way until it cuts out to obviously the group, the rebel guys, I don't know what they are, who obviously are in the car.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think the way that they do that is pretty... I think that's just clever because there's a lot of questions. Demons, I don't really understand what's going on. What is the cinema? What is this? Like, what's the law? But like, you don't really need to know that. You just need to know that this mask infects you, turns you into a demon, and now everyone's gonna die. You know what I mean? So
I thought it was clever, like in the when in the film the characters are screaming and as the first few people are turning in the movie theater, they're also screaming, and I think somebody picks up on it.
Yes.
But her boyfriend's just like, nah, don't worry about it. And
Yeah.
and
She's
then
like,
until
yes.
like the screen gets like cut open, and then panic just like erupts. I thought that was a really good scene.
I have to say, one of my favourite scenes is you've got this
Yeah.
old couple there that the husband was just a complete dick. Awful to his wife.
Oh, the one that
awful to
hates
the
everything.
patrons, hates everything. And it's like their anniversary, and he's been on their anniversary. He's obviously got free tickets. He's like, fuck it, I'm just going to take my wife to some movie for free. So yeah, he was an arsehole, but he was actually a really good character, and I was quite saddened to see him get off quite early on.
Because
He literally gets
the main group are like chatting right behind him. He turns around and he's like, "Woo, shut up."
Yeah, that's brilliant. I love that.
A horror movie. I knew it.
I told you this was a great place. Come on, let's take a look around.
If you get scared, you can always hold my hand. I won't mind.
But I thought you said he was dead.
Shut up.
That generally made me laugh out loud.
Yeah.
That was funny.
He had some good
Yeah.
lines.
Yeah. But if we're talking about characters, I think there's one character that we need to bring up. The best character.
The standout.
The standout, obviously, Tony. Is it Tony? I keep
Yeah, it's
forgetting his
Tony.
name. Yeah. Oh God, he's funny.
I think just his voice and the line deliveries of everything he says is so like over the top that it no matter what he says, it's just hilarious.
Yeah. And it's just like the way that his like I don't know, like the sort of dubbing of it or something like that. It's just like it doesn't. The rest of the film kind of sounds okay, but then he kind of feels like he's been pulled straight out of like an old Bruce Lee film or something, and he's like, it's so funny, so funny.
When the voice doesn't match up, and it's like there's like a 5-second delay. Like, everybody, get the chairs.
Yeah, and he kind of plays like the leader role for a little bit.
He
You
just
know what I
kinda
mean? He
takes charge. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he I kind of just wish he was in it just that little bit longer.
Going back to the effects, which I thought were really, really good. I just didn't like the green goop. I thought that was the only bit that kind of aged it a bit.
Yeah,
Like we said, like the teeth scene and all like the cuts and like the neck. There's like a neck slice, and I thought they were like really, really good. But the green like 80s goop, that was like the only thing that kind of like brought me back to like, this is like an 80s like film.
Yeah. No, I get there was the one bit that like I kind of feel like they were trying too much was when she's transforming, it's really, really good. But there's one shot where her tongue comes out. I don't know if you remember that bit, but like it's obviously a fake head and a tongue like
yeah.
and like even though I normally like those sort of scenes in films, the demons never actually do that for the rest of the series that I've seen. And it's kind of like I feel like they were just trying to be like, how can we make this as disturbing and weird as possible? Let's just throw this scene in. You know what I mean? And I don't think it fit, but no, I love the effects and the and stuff. But yeah, I do agree. Like the green does kind of make it. It doesn't seem too natural. You know what I mean?
There was when the punk group are in the movie theater, and I don't know her name actually. Nina, the young one. When everyone just walks off, and she just suddenly decides to put on lipstick really, really, really slowly.
Yeah,
and,
that she found on the floor.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna just stare into this mirror for a good like few minutes and slowly put on this lipstick." And then obviously she gets what's coming.
I just kind of thought I thought they spent so long on those characters. I thought they were gonna you'd think they'd last a bit longer when they came in, you know. But they've got a lot of this screen time outside the cinema. Then they go in, and then that's it. They die very quickly. You know what I mean? So the only thing that they sort of do that's important is they're the reason how the demons get out, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So because obviously they let the blind guy out, who then infects the police, and then that's probably how it all starts.
I don't know.
Just went very quiet.
Must have gone off. Yeah. Yeah. I was going to say. I do have a question for you guys. Something I noticed throughout it. Would you consider this a rock and roll horror movie? Because watching it, I was kind of, it kind of reminded me of, so especially with the soundtrack, the characters being alternative. You've got punks, you've got goths. I don't know, it kind of reminded me a bit of, like, say, Rocky Horror or Rock and Roll Nightmare, like Phantom of Paradise. Those
I could see it being grouped in with that. Yeah.
I mean, I it kind of, like something like Return of the Living Dead. Like how that's kind of like, I definitely see that. You know what I mean? I think I feel like I've always thought that Demons is a really good. I feel like it's a really good gateway horror film, especially to get into sort of Italian horror.
Yeah,
I think if I was to sort of show somebody who maybe doesn't really know much about Italian horror or is interested, this would be one that I'd go, watch this one.
It's definitely worth a watch, whether it's the comedy, like, or the practical effects, or like the iconic scenes. Like, it's definitely worth a watch. 100%. I
mean, I don't want to spend too long talking about the films, but there are some really, like, I really love, the bit where they're in the vent, and she's like, there's something behind me, and like it's actually her that's slowly turning, and then he goes, "What, you go in front of me?" And she's like, "Oh my god, it's in front of me now." And then you realise, no, she's the noise that they can hear. And then she turns around and she's a demon, and like that bit is brilliant. And then obviously you've got.
Sorry, that's a really good scene, but I had one thing. That vent, obviously, it was like a prop set, and the vent was so big, but they were like army crawling, struggling for air, and I was like, you could probably crouch in that.
Yeah, you definitely could.
It kind of reminded me of Vents in Aliens when they're trying to escape by the control room. Like, they're literally just crawling when they could have been running, basically.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's so much I can talk about with this one. I
do have a little fact.
Go on.
So, the building, the exterior shots of the movie theater, called the Metropole, does still exist, and it's quite a famous club called Goya, and they now host like several horror conventions there.
Oh wow!
And the Metropole, it's called Metropole in the film. The Metropole Theatre can actually be found in the Silent Hill game, and it's the exact same font and everything.
Oh really?
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that is cool. That's really cool.
I thought that was it definitely doesn't look as good in the Silent Hill game, but it's there.
Well, it just gives you another reason to play Silent Hill again. Really.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Oh wow, no, that's a really cool fact.
That is.
The only thing I'd like to add is, if I ever come across a crashed helicopter and I don't find a grappling gun in it, I'll be so disappointed. So, helicopters must have grappling guns just in them constantly.
You know what? That actually brings me to a point that before we go into like the ratings, I've kind of been saying a lot of positive things, and I will. There's one. This film is like it's an all-time favorite of mine, and I generally was like, this is probably going to be a 5 stars, but it's not. I won't say what the score is yet, but I didn't like the ending this time round. From the minute he gets the motorbike.
Yeah.
To, I think, the point that they get out of the cinema, I was watching it and I felt like they missed out on something there. You know what I mean? Like,
I know, yeah, when they get out and they're like running away, and there's a
yeah,
couple of demons chasing them, and then obviously
but like even the bit where he's on the bike, I didn't like. You know, when he's chopping them up on the bike.
yeah,
There's some like I was watching it, and like I say, I get it. It's cool and it's really epic and stuff. But the one thing that I've always found actually quite scary with this film, like it's not a scary film, but I think when I watched it as a kid, like the one thing is the demons they're tough. You know what I mean? They're not like slow walking zombies. These are guys that like they will.
yeah, they're pretty.
You don't want to be trapped in a room with
They're
it because
quite
it will
feral.
definitely just kill you. Yeah. But then all of a sudden he's on this bike and they're just like they're just trying to jump on the bike and it kind of makes them seem really weak and like all of a sudden he's become like this like
Just driving on.
he's
theatre
driving
chairs.
he's I don't know how he's that good at driving a bike. And he's driving on all these chairs and swinging around his sword and chopping them up. And I'm just like, they could have done something a bit better, I think. I think like how have they gone from like being really tough to now this guy is all of a sudden some expert biker and driving on top of seats, like cinema seats and chop it, and you know what I mean? And I just kind of was like, watching it with the probably because I'm watching it trying to get a score and stuff. I'm trying to look at it in a different way.
Yeah.
And it kind of threw me out the movie a tiny bit. And then all of a sudden a helicopter crashes in. And like, yeah, there was just a little bit. The last 10 minutes, I just was like...
There's a scene slightly earlier in the film that really got me as well. Is they're trying to kill one of the demons. I think it might be Ken. I can't quite remember. And they've got him, and they've got like a thing on... they've got like a bar on his neck. And they're trying to get his eye so desperately into this like iron pipe wire.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
No, wait, that's
the
in the
man
helicopter.
mask.
No, that's
the man in the mask. That's what one of the the man in the mask. He's hanging out on the roof.
Yes.
And they spend so
They could
long
literally just
trying
kill
to
him
push his
or
face
anything, and
into
they're
an iron bar.
they're just shoving it really slowly and trying to get his eye in it. I was like, just kill him.
It's like I'm looking for a reason just to kill him in a pretty way. Instead of just pushing him into the cinema for the demons to get him. No, we're just going to slowly push his face into iron rebar.
And I think that again adds to that almost unsatisfying ending.
Yeah. What did you think of the very end when they get on the Jeep?
The final thing. Again, I don't like it when films do that. I don't like it when I watch a character, and I'm quite soft. I like the characters. I always end up like rooting for the characters, and I hate it when they just like unceremoniously sort of just kill them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's weird because George seems to get scratched by a demon.
But he was scratched. That's what I was expecting. He was scratched, but she turns.
She turns right at the end, just going to be blown away. On the back of the pickup truck. I just didn't see that coming. I thought it was in reverse.
Yeah, like I always hate it when you're watching a film and you really root for the characters and they get out, and then at the very end they die. And like I think Alien 3 is the worst for that. I can't stand it because you watch them in the Alien 2, and you're like, yes, they got out, they went through all of that, and then they die at the start of the third one, and I'm just like, why would you just ruin that?
But Michael Bay massive payout because they used a picture of him on the computer in Alien 3. He got paid millions just to have his picture on in Alien 3. It's crazy. But we could have a complete podcast talking about for hours talking about Alien 3.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm not getting
background
into.
stuff that, we could talk about that, but yeah, the end in Demons, yeah, it was slightly disappointing, but it didn't affect my overall enjoyment and love for the movie.
Yeah, it's still a very
Yeah.
like fun film. Right at
Yeah.
the end in the Jeep as well. There's just one last thing before we get onto ratings. Obviously there's a family and there's a young boy and he's probably like 7 and he has a bump action shotgun and he shoots it and there's 0 recoil. The strength and power and stability of a 7-year-old on a moving Jeep taking shots with this pump action shotgun like he's done it 1,000 times.
On the right, June. Good shot.
Welcome aboard.
Made me, that had me in tears.
That is funny. Yeah. No, I agree. That is really funny. Oh, okay.
So
do we?
reviews.
Yeah. Do you want to get into the ratings? Oli, do you want to go first?
So yeah, Demons, loved it. 4 stars. That's fine for me.
Nice.
It's a 4 out of 5, yeah. I personally put 3.5 out of 5. But if I was to do it out of 10, it'd be maybe like 7.5.
Yeah. I wasn't sure to do out of 5 or out of 10, but I'm just gonna go with the letterbox.
Yeah, I think that's a bit
yeah.
easier.
But I went into it thinking it was going to be a 5, but I actually put 4.5 because I do think the last 15 minutes kind of got rid of half a star.
Yeah.
But overall, it's a fantastic movie, which I would recommend to anybody who is interested in sort of horror and stuff like that. So
Definitely worth a watch if you've not watched it, for anyone listening.
yes. Okay. I say we move on to the second movie, which I'm sure you guys are a lot more positive
so
about.
long about Demons. I think we spoke about an hour just on Demons.
I know that was really bad planning. Sorry,
There's some bits to cut out. We had there's a few bits to cut out, especially the intro.
That's fine.
But anyway, Demons 2.
Yeah, Demons 2.
Where do we start?
Do you want to read the synopsis? Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's reading it out?
Oh, I've got it up if you want.
Yeah.
A group of tenants and visitors are trapped in a 10-story high-rise apartment building infested with demons who proceed to hunt the dwindling humans down.
Nice.
Yeah, so
These
that's
synopsis.
Very to the point.
Yeah. Okay, what did you think of this one? Will, do you want to go first on this one? Or did you go first on the last one?
Oh, there's so much to say. Right, I'll go into the actual demons themselves. You touched on it in the first one, how they're quite feral. They're quite they're not to be messed with. In this film, they're just kind of a bit silly.
Yeah.
When hold on, let me get it. What's the main lady's name? The one that's having the party. Is it Hannah?
Sally?
Asia Argento's. Yeah, like her first role. First acting role.
Yeah, when she turns, it's a pretty cool scene. It's like when she's looking at the camera, but it jumps back to it 5 times, and she's just like I'm a demon, and I'm like, in the first film they just turn and they're instantly feral chasing after you, and it was a little bit, there was tension.
Yeah.
But in this one they just turned and they were like, we're just silly goofy demons, and everyone they've gone into panic, but they've got time.
Yeah, no, I agree. I also I think with talking about the demons, I still think they look really good. I still think I like the overall look, and they have a few good shots in it. When she first steps out of the the cover from I don't know if you've seen the cover of the movie where she steps out of her room and you've got that shadow.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that's
And
a
it's like the
really good
birthday cake.
scene.
Yeah.
And there's another good shot of them, and it's kind of a remake of the first one, but it's when they're running down the corridor. Again, it looks pretty good. But the one thing this film, for me, that I just could not stop thinking about was this is not a sequel to Demons 2. This was literally a remake.
I think I noted down. It feels like a fan is remade the film to like to the best of their ability, but it's just not. It's not it.
Yeah.
It just seemed like a rushed sequel.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So it came out a year later. Demons did really well. Okay, let's just rush a sequel out to market, just to capitalize on the success of the first movie.
Yeah. I feel
it
like
came out a year later as well, like literally,
Yeah.
like, and it's pretty much a remake. Like
the Demons did look cool, but some of the makeup effects of the transitions, so like the teeth scene again, they do that, but to a much lesser. It's not as grotesque. It just kind of looks a bit B-movie. It's a bit right. The first one, it's a bit grim, but this one it was it just wasn't in that great effects wise. I think the only one I did like was the weird little screaming puppet demon.
Yeah.
That was probably my favorite part of the film.
Yeah, that was a pretty good scene. It kind of like had like a sort of critters sort of thing,
Jumping all over the apartment with the pregnant lady.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I feel like I know what you guys sort of initial thoughts. I've seen your reviews, but I feel like I'm into it a lot more than you guys were.
Yeah, I think so.
I actually like the film. I think the film is like it's a pretty good film for me, but I can't help but think it does a lot that Demons 1 does, but everything is just slightly worse. But at the same time, for me, like I don't think there's much that's terrible. I just think like there's some of it that's slightly worse, but then they do add extra bits like the baby thing that I really like. I really love the setting. There's something about an apartment building being trapped in them. I find them really interesting. Things like
that's one of I agree. That's one of the favorite things I did think I really liked about it was the setting in an apartment building, different levels to the apartment, people
how they use like the
living
elevator.
on the elevators, the use of elevators, use of stairs for when they, take out the demons in that one shot.
That was a cool scene when the demons are going up and down the stairs and they keep looking and their eyes are glowing. That was actually like a really good shot.
It reminds me. Have you guys ever seen Wreck?
Wreck?
The Portuguese movie, The Wreck. It came out maybe 10 found footage zombie one.
Found footage zombie movie. Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely thinking about it, you can definitely see the similarities.
There's a scene in that when they look down. The camera looks down at the staircase, and they go. I think they ask for someone's name, and then 10 of them peek like zombies, peek their head up.
They pop their heads out, don't they?
And then and it kind of has that. It has that sort of vibe to it, and I really like that. And there are parts that I really like about this film. Like I can't quite put my finger on it. Like I feel like if Demons 1 didn't exist, I think I'd be more high on it. I think I just there's definitely some bad things but I do think it makes up for some. I really like. I don't know if it's got the same name in this one, but obviously Tony is back. It says Hank on here, so he's playing Hank in this one. And I thought I really liked his character just as much, and I like I liked a little bit like when they get to the garage and they're holding them off and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
one-
enjoy that.
The thing with
I
the
said this to-
first one, sorry, Ali. The thing with the first
No, no,
one,
no.
like the characters, even like the main ones and the side ones, they were all interesting. They were all a bit different. Where in
Yeah.
this one, there was, I couldn't tell you anyone's name other than maybe Hank, and
Yeah,
there's like obviously the pregnant lady, and the lady having a birthday, but the rest of them are so like forgettable and. They,
Yeah, other than also the lady scared of elevators.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
oh,
she
yeah.
gets so annoying.
Yeah.
oh, she's so annoying, but I really like the scene. I really
It's a good
liked it
scene.
when
It was a
when
clever
he
scene.
like she's like, "Oh, can you help me up?" And then he goes down, and she just and I was like, "Oh, that's good."
Please don't leave me here.
That I enjoyed that bit. Yeah. One thing though as well, I thought they did terribly, and I don't understand why they added it in.
I
But
think
what was the point of anything outside of the
that car scene.
that they had the group again. They had like that the I don't know what to
They
call them.
recreate
Like,
like the alternative kind of punk group, but they're not quite
Yeah.
punk in this one. They're a little bit more like
Yeah.
And
But they don't even make it to the building.
it's got nothing to do with the demons. They don't make it there. They crash, and they crash, and an ambulance turns up within 2 seconds. The quickest service I've ever seen personally. And then it just ends. They never come back to it.
Yeah.
Jacob! Are you alright, man? Jacob! Hey, man.
Kate! Just sit tight.
You okay?
Just sit tight, huh?
Help me.
You're gonna be okay.
Help me. There's a lady hurt real bad in here.
And then you've got the Sally's mum and dad who was there. Obviously, the guy, what's his name? Lamberto Bava played the dad. He was there for like a minute, saying like, "Oh, why do we have to eat here like dogs?" While they're partying, and then they're never in it again. And I'm just like, what was the point? There was that guy with the glasses as well who was waiting
I was about to
outside.
mention it, the nerdy guy that they sent out of the party just to wait outside for this car to turn up,
Oh yeah.
and nothing happens with it. It's, I don't know, it's just so pointless, just pointless filler.
That is
Yeah.
like one of the main things about this film. So many things just felt like unfinished and messy and
Yeah.
not necessarily hard
It
to
just
follow,
seems
but you're like, okay, this is happening, and then that's it. Never comes back, never ties into the demons in the main storyline. They just kind of
Yeah,
throwed bits in there.
Yeah, Will's right. It's like I love the concept of the demons instead of coming out of a cinema screen, they're coming out of your TV. But it just seems like there was just too much going on, too many characters, and it just quick switches between them, and then their stories never really resolved at the end, especially with the car park scene and the gym guys and all the people surviving the apartments running down. I don't know, it just felt really disjointed.
Mm.
What do you guys think happened to the girl in the car? Did she die or not? I don't know. Do you guys know
So-
which bit I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
so she's in the car, and
Yeah.
her dad is it a dad?
Yeah, her dad's
Her
getting
dad's, like,
killed.
fighting off like some demons, and then he ends up dying.
He ends up dying, and then like they're all that I like that scene. When they're all on the car window,
Yeah.
like looking at her.
Yeah,
But then like it cuts to them all running out, and I'm not sure is it just not showing you, or is it, or did they because it cuts to Sally like she was shouting, like she screamed, and they all ran away. So I don't know if maybe they let her live, or or if it just didn't show you her getting killed because obviously she was obviously young girl. I
they
think
might have left
that's
it out.
I think that's Dario Argento's daughter. I believe as well. So they probably was like, don't kill her. But yeah, no, I don't know if she died or not, to be honest.
I feel like it's another thing that's just unfinished. They probably did have something for it, but they were just hashed it together. There is when they're in the garage, that one guy gets into that BMW and just starts ramming into people and drifting about like he's in like Resident Evil 7 when you're in the garage, you're just going back and forth. It reminded me of that.
And then he just decides to just drive it over some cars and just crash and die. Like, I'm just like, wow. Yeah, like I feel like this film has, I think as an overall film, it's not too good, but I think it has some quite stand out set pieces. Like I do like the bit, even though it's silly and it doesn't make much sense. I like the garage scene. I like them.
It has its moments, yeah.
I like siege movies. I like that's the thing why I like Demons so much. I like movies where people are trapped in an area.
Yeah.
And there's things in there and they're trying to survive. I really enjoy them. So I think like watching people like barricade the doors and I really enjoy them. I like the demon dog scene. I think that was interesting. Except the lady never closes any doors, which she would have just survived. But
yeah, I thought the dog transition was quite cool.
Yeah,
they did something a little bit different with that.
Yeah, and I think like it had moments in it. It had moments in it that I actually really like, but I think overall, it does.
So I quite like how they use the blood drips through all the floors, and that's how that's how like the dog gets it, and like just going through all 10 floors of the apartment. I thought that was like really clever, but everything just felt so strung together that it wasn't enjoyable as an entire film. More just like moments.
Yeah, no, there's just like I say, I feel like the more that I've sat on the film and talked to you guys about it, I do think that my rating, I feel like my initial reaction, I rated it a bit high. You know what I mean? I'm thinking like half a star down. You know what I mean? Like the more I think about it, I go, actually, I did have a lot of problems with it, but I think it just had some moments in it that I liked, and then I remember them moments, and then when you look at the whole film, it's like, oh yeah, actually,
it's not a bad movie. It's enjoyable. It's enjoyable to watch, but it just doesn't hold a candle to Demons. I think that's the biggest issue. With it. But it's not a bad movie. That's the thing. There's some really good bits about it. But it's just not as enjoyable to watch as Demons.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's got moments. It's just overall, I think it's just nowhere near as good. And because it's more of I feel like they're just trying to recapture and remake a lot of the scenes.
Yeah, they were like, what's good about the first one? Let's do that again. But then,
you notice, and I think the original scenes were some of the best bits. Like when it was original, I was like, yeah, that's good. But when they're trying to rehash the scenes, like put in that alternative like punk group and some of those scenes, I was like, they're the ones that were kind of weak about the film, sort of thing. So.
Yeah, well, they go for a totally different sort of music genre for it as well. They go for like a new romantic sort of theme to the music, with like the use of Smiths. And it's completely. 1 year later on from Demons, you're going through some power metal, and now we're going to like a new romantic sort of age of music. I don't know. didn't work as well for me. You know, with the music choices.
I can't really remember much of the songs in it. Did it have the Smiths in it or someone like?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, there
the
was.
Smiths, and I think it did. Or maybe
Yeah,
I can't remember.
yeah, I
It's
definitely
been a
had the
while,
Smiths,
but
but it was just a bit of a forgettable soundtrack.
yeah, not like
Um,
the first one. Not like the first one.
Exactly.
There was one hilarious bit at the end, when she's giving birth, and she's like,
the quickest delivery ever.
yeah, the
of
quickest
baby.
delivery, and as soon as she's like, "Oh, I'm giving birth," some rock music starts playing, and it does not fit whatsoever. She's like wailing
I
out in
noticed that.
pain, and it's just like. Some soft rock, like dad rock in the background. I'm like, what?
The ending made me. There was two moments that made me laugh at the ending. There was one bit, you know, when they meet up with the couple, like that came with them, and they end up randomly turning. He throws one of them down the stairs, and then the
Yeah.
girl with the blue dress, he throws her off the building. And like it just shows you like she's obviously like a dummy or like a mannequin or something.
Yeah.
And you just see like this dummy just fly off the building and it hits the floor and you just hear like there's like weird sound effect of it hitting the floor. And then the other bit that really made me laugh. Well, maybe the bit, you know, when they come down they abseil down the building, and then you have Sally. You got Sally, and she's like quick running.
And that rope, when he picks it up, it's just like a normal spool of rope, and it's the longest rope ever.
No, I agree. I think. Should we go into ratings? Do you think we're ready for ratings? Or is there anything else you guys want to add? Did you guys have anything else?
The only thing I'd like to add is if I'm stuck, and I know I said this about the grappling gun and the helicopter, but if I'm stuck in a garage full of cars, I'm not going to move the cars. I'm just going to tear the seats out of the backs of cars just to barricade doors with, because obviously they're better than actually using the car.
Oh yeah, much more practical.
I didn't quite understand
because they moved the one. They were
blocking
one
the
car,
doors.
They do move the cars, but initially they start ripping the seats out of the cars just to barricade doors.
Yeah, but the thing is I don't understand. Like, I didn't understand the layout of the place because they were blocking these doors off and nobody was coming, and then all of a sudden they're coming, and then there's this big opening that they will just run from, and I was like, did no one ever think of the opening? Like, what's going on? Like, oh yeah, just silly. I feel like we've been really negative on it, but like.
It's like I said, it's not a bad movie. It just kind of doesn't hold. It's just a bad sequel, but it's not a bad movie.
Yeah.
Got one little fact before we move on to ratings in the last film.
Go on.
So at the end, obviously, when she's giving birth, originally the baby was actually going to be a demon, which is what I was expecting.
I was
like, oh, this is gonna be like grim. And it was supposed to, like, kind of, you know, chomp its way out and like have this big scene. Yeah, but apparently Bava and Argento wanted a happier ending and didn't want to end on such quite a grim note. But that was what I was expecting going into that scene. I was like, it's gonna go down here. But,
you were gonna get like a brain dead baby moment.
Yeah.
Sort of.
Yeah.
No. To be honest, I was quite happy that it wasn't, but that's just me with my happy endings again. So. All right. Okay. Should we jump into ratings? Will, do you want to start off?
Yeah. So initially, I gave it a 2.5 out of 5. But after a few days of thinking about how disjointed and messy it felt, despite its good moments, it's not a film I would go out my way to rewatch or anything. So it went down to a 2 out of 5 for me.
Ooh. Ouch. Oli?
Yeah, basically, it's Same as well. 2 stars for me.
2 stars.
Just wanted to concentrate on some characters.
I think, like I say,
Maybe I wouldn't really want to go back to watch. It's
Yeah.
not that. It's just, I don't know. It's just.
In my mind, like a 2.5 out of 5 rating is a film that's not great, but it's not bad. It's just kind of bang average. But there was too
agree,
much. There was too much unfinishedness for it to even get like a like solid middle ground rating.
Yeah. Like the way I do it is like, a 3-star film for me is I wrote on the bio on Letterboxd, 3 is a good and enjoyable movie. You know what I mean? So and then 2 out of 10, 2 out of 5 is like just doesn't quite hit the mark.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
What did you
So
rate it?
with that, I originally I rated it as soon as I watched it, and I went in with 3.5. And as the more that, and I think that was just because of some of the moments that I enjoyed. But then as I've thought about it more, I've gone down to a 3. But I'm kind of I'm down at a 3 at the moment, but I think maybe I need to give it a rewatch and have a final thought, like, because I think it could go down even more, or it might stay there. But yeah, I feel like we're talking about it tonight, and it feels like we're quite negative on it. And
there is a lot to like about the movie. There is some really good set pieces. There's some, good makeup effects. It's just, I don't know. It just.
There's just a lot to pick apart, I think.
There's just too much you can pick apart on it.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree with you. Lovely. I think that's the Demons 1 and 2 sorted. So, really good first film. I think we can all kind of agree that it was at least good to really good. And then Demons 2 was just not quite at the mark, really. Should we go on to the third and final film?
Yeah.
BlastFighter.
BlastFighter, 1984.
So the earliest of the 3 films.
Yeah. You can kind of tell that, though, with the directing style as well.
Yeah.
Quick introduction. BlastFighter. A former policeman sets out to unleash violent vengeance upon deer poachers when they R-word and kill his long-lost daughter.
Yeah. That's the story.
That's the story. It's simple. It's a simple story.
I'll start off on this one because
you start on this one.
I think this film. This is a film that I rated, and now the more I think about it, I kind of want to push it up a little bit. Like, unlike Demons 2, where I kind of feel like I want to go down a bit with my initial. The more I think about this, I actually quite liked it. Like, there was actually moments that I thought I went into this with expectations of cheesy rubbish.
Yeah.
But there was some things I really liked about this film. But there was some. Sorry, carry on.
No, it's pleasantly surprising. So I remember watching it like many, many years ago and thinking, oh no, this is just some cheap Rambo Italian knockoff. But rewatching it, I actually really, really enjoyed it. That I would really love to rewatch it at some point. It's just, I loved it. Actually, I really loved this movie, BlastFighter. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I think it kind of I think it there was actually some things that were actually really well made about it. Again, one thing that I think was really good with this, maybe 1 or 2 moments were a bit questionable, but like Demons 1, I think the music choices and when they put the music in, when they actually, I thought there was some moments I was like, that's really clever. I like how they've done that. There was another 1 or 2 moments that I was like there was 3 songs in this film there was the real cool one, which I really liked. You know, like the main theme that was
Yeah.
like it was like synth sort of pop sort of thing, like. And then you had the country song, which I
Yeah.
actually quite liked.
Every time
you know,
they were in the town, it'd cut to that
yeah.
They
song.
kept replaying it. It was the
Yeah,
song
yeah.
that they replayed.
Like,
And
guys,
I
we're back
actually
in the
realised
town
it.
now. We're back in the town. We're playing the
Yeah,
song.
we're playing like the country like singing song, but I feel like it kind of did capture the atmosphere of the of the town and like the opening film and all that. But then there was a third song that they played a few times, which was the silly, stupid comedy music. Like, did you notice it? Like, when he gets that deer for the first time, the little baby deer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's trying to like drink the water and he's like spilling it, and then you've got in the background like this bow 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 bow.
I'll put a clip in here
Yeah.
for anyone watching.
Yeah. Oh, it just made me laugh. Like there was I feel like the tone of the first bit of the movie, I was like, are they kind of going in for a comedy here? Like a little bit. Like I didn't know if it was intentional or unintentional, but like there was definitely something like that was quite funny. Like they had like that silly little music and things like that.
The first like 20 or so minutes did really like get me in. Like it intrigued me. I was like, so there's this cop who's like, he's like a straight guy. He's like walks. He's got like some strut in his step, and then you've got these rednecks that are just laughing and like playing with him, picking on him, and then the whole like deer scene and yeah, there's a lot of hilarious moments in this.
Yeah. You know the main character. I actually liked the main character. I think there was something about him that I quite liked, but he reminded me of like a South Park character. Like if a South Park character was going to make like a generic sort of cool cop hero guy. I feel like every sentence
name,
he
like
ever
Tiger.
says, every sentence he says is like, oh yeah, and it's like very macho. Like it sounds like every single thing he's gonna say, even when he goes to get the milk bottle.
Action
Yeah.
hero.
Yeah, even when when he goes to buy the milk bottle for the deer, and he's like, it's like almost like everything's like a one-liner. But yeah, I think like everything he says was just like it looks like any word, he come in and say hello, how you doing, and it's like he could just shoot you at any minute, like afterwards. Like,
his name, because his name was awesome. It's got to be one of the best names ever. I thought his name was Tiger Shark, but it's actually Tiger Sharp.
Yeah. Which
That's a pretty badass name. I was like, Christ, imagine being called Tiger Sharp. But yeah, it's actually Tiger Sharp. But yeah, Michael Sopkiff, he's like a classic cult actor that has been in loads of Italian cult movies.
I have seen that,
like
and then he just kind of like dropped off the face of the earth.
Yeah.
He just dropped off the face of the earth. After the fall of New York, where he plays really weak characters that always seem to get like his ass kicked constantly throughout his movies.
Yeah.
But then in this one, he's proper macho, badass, crazy one-liners. Michael Sopkiff. Yeah, I thought he was great in this movie.
yeah, like to be honest, I'm looking at his film list now, and he's got like 6 films. It's weird that I've seen like half of his filmography without realizing.
Exactly. Yeah, he's Massacre in Dinosaur Valley, which, funnily enough, they use some of the same songs in BlastFighter that's in Massacre in Dinosaur Valley, or AKA Cannibal Fear Ops 2.
Yeah.
Same soundtrack as well. Both used in both movies. But no, yeah, Michael Sopkiff, he was. I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
Yeah. No, he's so cheesy, but he actually he does it really well. Like he does that macho cheese man really, really well. And like I say, like obviously Massacre of Dinosaur Valley, they released that on 88 and stuff, and you've got another Lamberto Bava film, which actually it says on here it's called Devouring Waves, but I've never known it as that. I've always known it as Devilfish, but I don't know why. I don't know why it's called that on IMDb. But yeah, no, so and then obviously now BlastFighter. So I've seen 3 out of his 6 films without even really realizing.
Another 3 movies to catch up on. Some of the one-liners, where are your balls, Connie? When he says his own daughter. You want to know who I am?
Calls his own mum.
I'm a son of a bitch. That was funny. That was a great line. There was one bit that literally I was trying to hold in tears while I was watching, but it really made me laugh. It was when his daughter first comes to the house.
Yes.
Have you ever had that thing where you have an argument with somebody and then you think afterwards of something really clever to say? Yeah. It's so funny. Yeah, it's so funny because she calls him, what is it? You're acting like a horse's ass or something like that.
Yeah.
She goes, you're acting like a horse's ass. And then he storms out and it cuts to him sleeping outside in the rain. And he's got his eyes open. And then the funniest thing that really got me was he storms up, and I'm like, oh, he's got to come back. He's got to come back. And he runs to her bed, and he pulls a quilt off, and he's like, if you're a horse's ass, then no. If I'm a horse's ass, then what are you? And I'm like.
I'm a friggin' horse's ass. What does that make you?
That's my business.
Yeah, may I ask what you want here?
I'm like, you spent all that time out in that rain to come up with that.
And then he just gets into on the sofa and falls asleep there.
On the sofa. It's just a random fact that some woman he actually didn't know at the time just turns up at his lodge.
Yeah.
Kicks it, and he just gets up and gets out. It's like, you'd be like, who the hell are you? Get out of my house. But no, he just leaves the house and just sleeps on his porch in the rain.
Hilarious how she just turns up and enters someone's place and expected to just be welcomed, and he comes home to find her and she's just like, why are you acting so weird? It's like, where did you come from?
Well, who are you?
Why are you in my bed?
She says, I don't mind if you sleep in here. I was like, it's his house. But I was a bit confused. I wasn't sure if he knew who she was or who she wasn't. I was like, but I thought he must have knew her because the way they were talking, it's like he's like, oh, what are you doing here? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it didn't seem like random person in my house, get out. It was like, oh, not you. But then she said that thing where she was like, you're my dad or something like that, and I was like,
yeah, it's like, I haven't seen you since I was 8 years old when you first went to jail, sort of thing.
So
and they only allude to it slightly. They don't really press on it. It just says, oh, you haven't seen me since I was 8.
Yeah, like I'm under the impression, maybe I read the film wrong, but I was under the impression that he knew it was his daughter, but he just hasn't seen her for all these years.
Yeah, because when she reveals it, I believe he says something along the lines of like, I had a gut feeling or something.
Yeah.
He does say something.
Yeah, I was just a little bit confused on that. But yeah, I do think this film was really good. Like, it starts off as like a prank war between us. Like actually, before I forget, there was another bit that really made me laugh. And I think I just misunderstood the situation. Maybe it's because I was part watching it because I was watching it on my phone because I didn't have it on DVD. But you know when they cut his brakes?
Yeah.
I, for the whole time, thought he was just trying to scare her because he would like.
Yeah, I did as well.
I did it first, and then he was like, "They've cut my brakes," and I was like, "Oh, he's
out of nowhere.
They're gonna crash."
You've got to jump out of the car at 60 miles an hour, and they just tuck and roll as they go.
I was expecting. I thought he was just trying to scare her. I thought he was just going to drive fast just to try and intimidate her or something. And then the way he said they cut my brakes, he didn't even seem too bothered. I thought.
He's just like drifting, like trying to hang on for dear life, and he's like, "They've cut my brakes."
Yeah, that's why I thought. I was like, oh, he's just trying to scare her.
I can't. I got the brakes. Gearbox is gone.
And I was like, she's gonna like pretend to jump out of the car or something, and he's gonna go, "Nah, I'm just fucking with you." Like, see now, like now you're scared, leave.
Yeah.
And until she jumped out the car, I was like, "Oh no, they did cut his brakes."
He was never in a spot above her, like once. He was just
Wasn't
unfazed.
worried whatsoever.
Yeah. Did you see him jump out the car? I don't think I've seen him jump out the car. I just.
No, I think they both like jump out the car
Oh,
together.
did they?
They're hugging as they jump. And they just roll out.
Oh, do they?
It's
I
a
do-
nice half an hour, and they're perfectly fine.
Door.
Yeah, I was just like,
There's a thing with the cars in this film also. So they roll out, and that car hits a tree, I believe, and instantly explodes. Instantly explodes.
Lightly hit the tree. Just the biggest explosion. Sort of like crash.
And then the
towards the end.
And then the rednecks, they're like, "Oh yeah, he's over there." And then obviously they pull up in their red pickup, and then he's like, "I'm gonna get him back." And he rolls the pickup slowly into the car. That one instantly explodes.
Yeah,
And then later on in the film,
Wow.
later on in the film, there are flaming barrels that come down, rolling into the van that they came in, and they have about 2 minutes to get some of the equipment out. And there are lit up barrels all around this van, and it's like indestructible. But those two cars at the start.
Yeah. Because I was thinking that, because I was thinking, towards the end when he's shooting at all of them,
Yeah.
I was like, does he have like some kind of exploding rounds or something? Because every car is just exploding, like.
One shot, it just explodes.
Yeah, he
Like,
just shoots it
you know,
once in it.
Car with 4 dudes in it, 4 rednecks, and yeah, they're just exploding for
Oh, he
like
had it,
pile
like-
of fire. Oh, it's amazing.
He had his like grenade rounds and his explosive rounds and his smoke grenade things.
Yeah.
and-
They reference a dart round as well, but he never actually uses it. It's like
No.
it's a shotgun shell that has a dart in the middle of it and doesn't use it whatsoever throughout the entire movie.
Because at the beginning, the guy that's like giving it to him is like, "Oh, here are all your rounds. This is like the ultimate weapon kind of thing." And then when he finally, at the last 10 minutes of the film, gets the gun back, I like how he puts on his belt, and I'll put the clip in here. And he's like, he lifts each one up very slowly to show the audience, like, remember these?
Yeah.
Like, you know what these are? Remember the beginning of the film? Did you watch that? And then he's just like slowly like teasing them.
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes through this like Rambo transformation where he's got his gun belt and
Gets
then
his
all of a
beanie
sudden
on
when
and
his hat
stuff.
comes out of nowhere, yeah, like his beanie comes off, and his like shirt's all torn up and stuff like that.
He starts jumping around and rolling about in the woods.
Yeah, oh my god, I was pissing myself when he's getting shot at, and he just does roly polies all over the place, like
Yeah.
all over the woods while he's being shot at. It's
They're
so,
like-
it's brilliant.
They were like Dark Souls level roly polies. Like,
Yeah.
they were just so freaking like. He was like dodging them. Like, I was like, wow, like they're amazing.
What the fuck are you doing? I can't get a shot from this angle. Calm down.
Like you know what? But some of the things I think actually were like, we're laughing about the film but the things that I thought were really, really good. Now I don't know if because I know it reminds me of John Wick, but obviously this is way before that. I don't know if it was in another film that I don't know, but I loved the fact that the main bad guy, the his mate.
Yeah.
It reminded me a little bit of like the John Wick sort of the first one. Like he does not want any beef with this guy. They kind of have this rivalry where they almost respect each other so much.
Mm.
And then when obviously spoilers alert for this film from ages ago, but like when the brother shoots and kills the daughter, he's almost just as angry, and he's like, right, now you've really screwed up. It's like, it reminds me of like the John Wick thing, and it's like, you killed his dog, like, you know who that is, like, and I love that kind of almost respect that they have for each other.
I thought he was just as good of a character, to be fair. I did like his role.
Yeah, like I think it's like when he's like, the only way you're going to stop him now is if you kill him, and like he kind of doesn't want to fight him, but because his family's in trouble now and he's got to protect his family, he has to fight Tiger. And I'm like, and I really think that's actually like, that was genuinely like actually a really good sort of like, you know, like bad guy, like, you know, antagonist sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they reference that they've got a bit of history, haven't they? Like,
they
had a fight and he gave Tom a limp. You know, like on top of a waterfall or something. So, you know, you can see that they've actually got history, how Tiger went to the city, became a cop, Tom was stuck, so he just basically started running a sawmill in the middle of like some country town sort of thing. So, you know, there's a lot that's referenced in like backstory, but just it never kind of goes into much detail on it either.
No, they're like they're both alpha males, like, you know what I mean, like that. They're both macho man, but like they respect each other. You know what I mean? It's a rivalry where they have that respect. And even when he goes and he's like, "I've always wanted to get you back for doing my knee in," but he shakes his hand, you know, before it all kicks off and things. And I'm like, yeah, that's like. But then he has to try and kill him because his family, you know, his
it's like
brother.
It's like they know it's going to end.
I'm going to pick my family over you, no matter what, to protect my brother. But it's also like the whole concept of the story of how these people are going into the woods, hunting all these animals, to sell parts to this like Chinese guy. It's only mentioned for a couple of minutes. Tiger goes into shops, roughs him up a little bit, and that's it. That's that part of the story done. Now it's just a complete revenge movie. A whole illusion of hunting animals, body parts. It's just not referenced to Ken for like the last, well, you know, pretty much most of the movie.
Like I've said it a few times, but like I kind of feel like the first half of the movie is just like a really insane prank war, like you know, putting breaks and things, and then it just turns into, then it just like they just start killing.
It just goes nasty.
They're just being like, they're just a bit spiteful, and then when they accidentally kill that guy, that's when they're like, oh, we need to kill the witnesses. So it's like, that's
the
when
thing with that,
killing.
Obviously they assault his daughter and then they kill the guy, and then obviously the other guy witnesses, and like they die, and he's like, yep, no witnesses, and then all the rednecks are on board with this idea, like, yep, we've got to kill him.
Yeah.
And then they call up their other redneck friends, and like almost hundreds of rednecks are hunting down one man, all because they didn't want any witnesses so that the police wouldn't find out. Well, the whole town's on board. I think they're gonna get away with it.
Yeah. Like the police come to investigate the town, and every single person who lives there, like,
the town's dead. They're dead. There's no one else that lives in that town that all died.
Oh yeah, what was all those explosions in the forest? Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
The cars explode around here. Don't worry about it. But yeah, no, I did like it. I did like the film.
I did. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I just love the ending when he just rides into town and he's just piled all the dead rednecks on his bonnet or in his boot. And he's just...
If you never rode west of the Arizona border, you can turn the other way, boy, but you never get far.
Well, we have gone over the hour and a half mark, but only just. So, you guys want to just go into the rating and give our final review?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to go first, Will?
No, you can
Or
go.
PJ, I think, or Shin, you can go first if you like.
Yeah. Okay, I'll go first on this one. I think when I first reviewed it, I gave it a 2.5. But the more I've thought about it, I've kind of gone up. So I think I'm going to go with a 3, because I think it was a good, enjoyable movie. So I think I'm at a 3 out of 5.
Yeah, good call. Yeah, I initially was at a 3 when I first watched it, but over the last few days, thinking about all the scenes and the action and the acting, the one-liners, yeah, 3.5 stars for me. I loved it. I can't wait to watch it again.
Nice.
I think. Yeah, I kind of agree with you, Shin. I had it at 2.5. I think when I first finished the film, I love like the first, I think, about half an hour and probably the last 20 minutes. That's just pure Rambo chaos. But that middle is a bit. It's a bit muddy. It's a bit.
Yes.
It's a bit of a slog in the middle. So it might bump up to 3. I might have to rewatch it, but
yeah,
definitely worth a watch if you just want a good action giggle fest one-liners.
Definitely.
I never take the ratings too seriously. It's just kind of like a ballpark, what I'm feeling, and so at the end of the day, I could rate a movie 2 out of 10 or 2 out of 5, but still enjoy it and watch it. So
I did note down with this, it feels like a real dad film.
Yeah.
You got a couple of beers and you're watching a dad film on the dad TV channel, and this film's for dads. That's like the vibe I got from it.
Yeah.
No, the fun fact of it was supposed to be a Mad Max remake as well.
Yeah, I read that.
And I was like, okay, I don't know where they were going with it, but it's definitely not that. But yeah, Will's right. It's definitely a dad movie.
Well, I heard it was called BlastFighter as well, because originally they had the idea for a sci-fi film.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah.
So when I was looking into it, I seen that.
But they just complications with production and set and stuff. They just rehashed it and completely changed the new script, but but I think they already started promotion with the BlastFighter name, so they just kept it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a film that I want to see again. I think I'll watch that one again before Demons 2 anyway, so
Yeah. I definitely recommend this over Demons 2.
yeah. BlastFighter. Yeah. All right. Well, I think that will end it for our first episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope the listeners, I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Probably, like I say, a little bit messy. It is our first attempt, but
we'll try and refine things for future episodes, I think. But
you've got to start. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
And we haven't got a plan for the next episode, so I think we'll probably discuss that off stream, and we'll surprise everyone with the next one.
Or if anyone has any ideas,
yes,
pop them in the comments.
Yeah. So we always want to try and go with like a theme, like 3 or so movies of like a particular like they all got a kind of link together in some way,
like a certain theme or director or
or actor, actress. I know we've been kind of joking about watching 3 bad Sandra Bullock movies, which Will would absolutely love to do.
Of course,
But just as a jokey sort of episode, we're down for it. So
yeah, down for anything.
Down for anything.
Right. Anyway, I think we shall end it there. Thank you again, you two, for taking part.
Thanks, Shin. Thanks, Will. Yeah.
Been good fun.
Yes.
Yeah,
right.
sure.
I will see you guys later for another episode of Night of the Flicks. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.